Hello there. My name's Daniel Scott and welcome back to the show. Today we're in Sauce Bar, which is in Preston, which is a huge hangout spot for many students in the area. We are here today to see why the bar is so successful and see what makes it more unique than other bars in the area. I'm loving the warehouse style, and it's definitely welcoming for students who choose to socialise here. They've got a range of great meals, drinks and snacks. They have two main event nights, which are quiz night and karaoke. Today we have Olivia Lewis-Brown on the show, who's a screenwriting student at university. In addition to that, we also have Pulse radio presenters Daniel Carver and Jack Smith. All will be coming in the next half an hour. These guests are students at the university. On the show today, we're talking about what makes Preston so special. We are going to be looking through what Preston's like to live in and what there actually is to do in the local area. The city is known for having a rich history with parks, shops, and of course the University of Central Lancashire. And of course the local hero, Tom Finney, who won 51 career victories with Preston North End. While Preston is known for a lot of things, Sauce is known for their amazing cocktails. So we want to know how to make the most popular cocktail in the pub. Okay, so here we have the Jelly Baby cocktail, and yeah, you want to take a try? See what you think?
It's really nice.
Yeah, it's pretty good actually. So here I have Olivia, and Olivia is a screenwriting student from UCLan. So I'm going to ask her some questions and get her opinions of things. So What sort of opportunities has the Great Northern Creative Festival brought to UConn, in your opinion?
I'd say more the opportunities to network, if anything. We have some great connections with industry professionals who work in ITV. We work for Coronation Street. We've had a few writers from Coronation Street come to the Great Northern Creative Festival that we have in November. And they're always great for getting connections with the industry, seeing what sort of job roles you can fill in certain companies. So.
Yeah, awesome. What would you say is a good idea would you say it's a good idea to involve yourself in the festival?
Definitely. I know that some opportunities have really presented themselves because I've been in the festival. For instance, I had a stage play called Letters to Lenin in the festival, and after that exposure and winning the award for that, I managed to have a meeting with Lung Theatre, who's a political theatre group, and I had a meeting with the CEO called Matt Woodhead, who loved the idea of the script, knew that it had won an award at the Northern Creative Festival. And it's about gaining that exposure to different companies, being able to sell yourself and your work properly through certain festival events like that.
Yeah, it just gives you that exposure, doesn't it? So you mentioned Letters to Lenin. Do you want to explain that further?
So Letters to Lenin, it's a period drama piece. In the 1800s. It's focusing on Marxism and communism at the start of the Industrial Revolution here in Manchester and in Russia. So it's centralled around Nikolai Petrenko, who's a Bolshevik rebel leader who tries to bomb the carriage of Tsar Alexander III, and it's about the events that take place after he's escaped to Salford and who he meets. He meets Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, and the letters that he sends back to Vladimir Ulyanov, who will be Lenin, it becomes the foundation of his political career.
Alright, nice. So what inspired you to write this film?
The stage play was more about wanting to explore something I'd never thought I could understand, wanting to gain an understanding of Manchester, and it's quite close to my family. My family are from working class miners, coal mining background. So it was quite personal, some of the stories to me that take place in Manchester, which is what I wanted to explore and sort of as a homage to my ancestors.
Nice. So moving on from that, so what's it like actually being a screenwriting student at UConn?
I'd say it's one of the best decisions I've made to come to university here and do screenwriting as a specialised course. Just because I knew that I loved film, I knew I loved writing, but books were never really, for me, I didn't want to go into that area of writing. I wanted something more specialised. And the classes are small, so I can sort of explore my creative boundaries and breadth and get quite a close working relationship with lecturers.
Nice. Well, so what makes UConn unique from other universities that you could have gone to?
Definitely the industry connections. I don't know any other course like it who has such a good foundation relationship with ITV, with soap. We have a what's it called? A background for our film students to use that were supplied by ITV for us to film a Soap in a Week project, which was really helpful for students to learn how to become producers, writers for a soap project that was only a week long, so it was more like a taster course. So it's the opportunities that I've managed to have here that is a unique part of the course.
So, as we know, UConn likes to expand and is making its way to television screen with a new 2-year course. What are your thoughts on that?
So the 2-year course is based around writing for soaps, which is coming off the back of the soap, the the soap project, soap in a week project, which was really well received. So it's a course that I think is totally new to the curriculum foundation of what we're doing, and I'm really excited about it.
Yeah,
That students
sounds
can
interesting.
now explore something like that.
Yeah.
Going into Coronation Street or Holby City or the Bill or places like this need people who are experienced.
Yeah, definitely. So for your personal future and your career, is soap something that you would like to go into?
Definitely, especially in this country with us having, I think Coronation Street has just celebrated 80 years, an 80-year anniversary. And we have a really amazing history with soap in this country, and it's a great way for writers to sort of break into the industries is through Coronation Street and EastEnders and different soaps like that. So I think I'd love to go into soap. I'd love to try it.
It'd be a great opportunity.
Absolutely, yeah.
So is anybody watching this who was thinking about going to script writing at university, is there any advice that you would give them?
You've got to love what you do. You've got to love writing, because the workload isn't for everyone, if I'm honest, but that's only to produce a quality of work that is to an industry standard that you can sell after your degree. So it's treating you like you're a professional writer, this course, so you know what to expect when you get out into the real world.
Yeah.
But I've absolutely loved it. I think the one tip I'd give is meet your deadlines always, because that's going to be a big industry tactic.
Yeah.
And
learn to do it at university, and then when you get out into the real world, you can actually meet your deadlines.
Exactly. It's about loving what you do and loving the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
You should live to work, not work to live.
Awesome. Okay, thanks very much for coming on, Olivia. Really appreciate that. As we all know, money is getting tighter and tighter. So the question is, can we ensure to still have some money, some change left in our pocket, basically? Well, this is you, our viewers, help to show your favourite dishes to make on the cheap. Today is Maryland chicken, and that sounds and looks amazing.
For the Maryland chicken, I've got about 5 tablespoons of soy sauce. I've got crushed garlic, about 2 cloves, and a knob of grated fresh ginger. And then I've got some warm honey and about 3 tablespoons of that, which I will then mix together, and then I will marinate the chicken breasts in that. To start with, I will put the honey in the saucepan. And it'll combine better if it's all nice and warm. And then I've got the garlic and the ginger, which I'll pop in as well. And then I've got the soy sauce. Right. And then I need to heat it through. I gently heat all these ingredients through just to combine all the flavours, which will make a much better marinade for the chicken. I've heated the marinade till it's runny, but not that hot. So I then put the chicken in a dish, like so. And then I can pour the marinade over. And you can turn it I'm just going to cover the chicken for a couple of hours, and then we can get on to the next stage. The chicken has been marinating for an hour, that's marvellous. We're going to breadcrumb it now, and I've got a bowl of plain flour with a wee bit of salt and pepper and paprika. I've got eggs, 2 eggs in the next one, and I've got breadcrumbs in this one, and then I've got them in order and sequence of what I do. So, right, so you take the chicken breast and just take off excess liquid. I keep one hand dry and one hand wet so that it just makes life a little less messy. There we go. And the flour makes sure that the egg will stick to the breast, which in turn makes sure that the breadcrumbs stick. It all works better. There we go. I do it in order, it just makes life much more simple. So the next one. I've left the chicken to stand for about an hour, and I'm just going to now fry it off, and then it'll be all ready for eating. Okay. I always use a deep fat fryer because I find it's much safer. So I just have the lid. There we go. And just ease it in with a spoon. And then here I've got a plate with some kitchen roll on it already. Okay. With chicken you need to make sure that it's really properly cooked. So I give it a good 5 minutes. Drain it off and then pop it on the paper. And then immediately put the lid down and turn it off at the mains just to keep it safe. And there it's ready, so put on a plate when all ready to eat.
So what's the show about then?
So the show is called The Rip Ticket Show, which I present with my cohort here, Mr. Smith.
Yeah, thank you.
It's all right.
You once described me as football was White's choice of film critic. So
Something like that, yeah. And yeah, we review the latest films for UCLan students so that if they decide to go to the cinema, they know what to spend their money on and what to avoid, as I think one of the worst things in the cinema is where you pay top money for a good film and then realise you're just watching rubbish. And you're sort of stuck there for 2 hours and there's nothing you can do about it. So we sit through the horrible stuff so you don't have to.
Yeah, that's become like a sort of like a key, unique selling point of our programme is that we sit through pretty much any film, regardless of whether it's independent, mainstream. Of course, we're kind of limited by what the films we get here in the city. But we give everything a fair look and we sort of vet the films and see whether our listeners would want to watch them or not.
Pretty much.
Alright, nice. So how did the show come about?
So the show has been in existence for around about 3 years, but it was originally in Ipswich in Suffolk, and it was run on the community radio station IO Radio. And at the time they were looking for a host. I was out of work, had nothing really better to do, so I volunteered at the radio station, was given a shot. And for a year I hosted the Rip Ticket Show on my own in Ipswich, did the reviews, you know, it went really, really well. Flash forward to about a year and a half at UCLan, and I decided, rather than just do your average work experience project where you just work on something for a few years, I decided to bring the show back, bring it to Preston, and try it for my work experience, just to see what it's like to, you know, set up a blog and do this new fangled YouTube thing that everyone's doing nowadays. about halfway through, about three quarters of the way through, I invite you, because you do your own...
Yeah, so I run my own separate blog outside of the university where I've been doing roughly the same thing. It'll be the 5th anniversary in June, actually. So
Yeah. And I think it's just a lot better when you've got two people there, because then you can, well, we don't always agree on everything. You think that, what's that musical?
The Greatest Showman.
You thought The Greatest Showman was great, I didn't. So, it helps when you have two people there. And yeah, so the show is plugging along at the moment. Yeah, points of view. And we sort of bounce off each other as well, don't we? We try to sort of get our views in, and as well as that, and if there's a disagreement on there, all the better, because everyone loves controversy.
Yes, someone quite wisely said controversy creates cash. We don't get any, because cinema tickets are that expensive.
Sorry, there's cash involved in this? Why did I not hear this plot twist?
So what is the nature of the show? What do you guys want to do next?
So, because the Rip Ticket show was primarily something that I helped to create in Ipswich, I kind of wanted to give Jack a share of it as well, because he's really helped out a lot. So we sort of rebranded the show. Now the show is going to be called Jack and Carver at the Movies.
Yes.
And we're going to. It's basically just going to be the Rip Ticket to Electric Boogaloo, where we review movies still, but it's just going to be our own creation. Yeah, and we'll just keep going. And we have our own blogs over the summer as well, which will be reviewing movies when we can't get to the radio station. So yours is
leejacksmith.com, which is going to be sort of broadening its content, not just in terms of text, but they're going to be launching video content on there over the summer, going into July, August, September, so to fill the gap in between the show being off air and those coming back in to begin the show again in September. So we've got quite a hectic schedule at cinemas just reviewing films. So we basically we're practically married to this film life now.
I want a divorce. And for me, my blog is still in the process of setting up, because I'm switching over platforms, but when it's set up, I'll just be updating that, and then when we come back, it'll be on with the show again, talking about the summer. Oscar season will be approaching as well.
Yeah, so
there's always something to do when you're reviewing film. There's always something happening.
And of course, no two shows are unique. It's a different range of films every week.
Exactly.
All right, guys.
Nice, just having us.
Hello, and welcome to this handy guide, where we will show you what you need to know about university. So to help us, we have Jeremy, a student himself who knows the difficulties of being a first year. So we will be going with Jeremy on a journey of what a first year can be like. The first most important thing in being a university student is, of course, finding out where you're going to live. Jeremy likes this accommodation. He thinks it's amazing. But he hasn't taken it into account how expensive it is, and he wouldn't have enough to live on. So, this is more in Jeremy's price range, which covers rent and enough to standardise living. But of course, Jeremy would rather live in the other one, as they don't even have a TV. But he'll thank us in the end, I hope. Looks like a standard kitchen. But what's this? Jeremy, you haven't cleaned your dishes, and there's quite a lot of them. All you needed to do, Jeremy, was clean your dishes away and this wouldn't have happened. As a rule, always try and keep your flatmates on their good side. After all, you are living with them for a year. Jeremy likes Tesco's. He always shops there at home. But he's at university with very little money. Although Tesco's do some great deals, unfortunately he cannot afford it at the moment. Instead he will have to go to... This is much better and more affordable for Jeremy. Although he may not be happy about it, he won't need to go back for 2 weeks as he has decided to live on pastas and pizzas. What a great lifestyle choice. Please do not follow this choice of food, as it is not very healthy. Jeremy has been in university for 3 months now. His friend has messaged him asking if he wants to go out tonight. Jeremy really wants to go out, but he must decide between food for 2 weeks or a night out. Oh, Jeremy, why? Because Jeremy will now have to work out how he's going to survive with no money. Typical students. But Jeremy has now decided not to attend his lecture today because he's hungover. Jeremy will now be on a warning and will have to attend a meeting with his lecturer about his work. Oh, Jeremy. Finally, Jeremy has decided he needs a job. After months of struggling, he thinks it's time. But what he hasn't taken into account is that it's nearly the end of the semester and will be time to go home soon. And also, there are no jobs for students here at this time. I think Jeremy has learnt some important information this year, but he still has a lot more learning to do. Hopefully second year will be better. Until next time, Jeremy.
Well, that's very educational, and I wish I was given that advice before I left for university. Thank you for coming on the show, and I hope with all your endeavours you succeed. But unfortunately, that is the end of the show. Thanks to Source for letting us use their facilities. Next week we will be in Cardiff, so we hope to see you there soon, and I hope you have a nice day. Bye.